Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, your tired midnight blogger. What blogs in this case? At 6:18 p.m. I forgot to take down my name. I guess there's more coal in my stocking, but that makes sense. Since I'm the Joker, you see. Why don't you see the funny side? Why aren't you laughing? Today's topic is going to be our year in review. I'll do a little bit of reviewing on my channel, but mostly I'm going to try to hit at least some of the highlights. I tried to think of something that would make me a little more unique. We'll see at the end if I've hit that or not. But obviously, I also want to discuss the elephants in rooms, as they say. Let's say hello to the chat. Hail Tim! Thank you for coming on here and for the comments. He is making the point, which is being debated in the chat itself. With all the pardons, he hopes someone takes it to court saying he's not in his right mind, since if you're not able to sign stuff, you're not in your right mind. Why should he be able to? Hail Connie Cleary, faithful bird woman of YouTube. Check out her second channel, Fluff Chick Productions, and watch beautiful videos of wonderful birds, beautiful, cute, and often accompanied by wonderful music. Lady Mist, hail, hail, the second of one of the three great wrenches on YouTube. I'm honored you spend your time here. She sets out the question, why is it that when Trump pardoned all those felons when he was in office last time, it was fine, super okay, but when Biden does it, he has to be mental? Are we forever going to have a double standard? And I would suggest, with respect to both of you and Tim, that yes, it seems like we will forever have a double standard. The double standard being those on the left will say that everything Biden did, and I know you two are not this way, but everything Biden did was great and everything that Trump did was bad. Whereas everyone on the right is going to say that everything Trump did was great and everything Biden did was bad. But you both make, in my humble opinion, some good points. I really would need to put more thought into it before I give a better answer to it. I'm going to admit my bias is a little bit more pro-Trump than pro-Biden. Having said that, I get how you feel, Lady Miss. You get tired of hearing that one person is always good and one person is always bad. Orville Nation, hail, hail. Welcome to the channel. Please, anybody who hasn't already done so, I think most of you have, but please check out his channel. He's been incredibly supportive to me. Between him and Netter and Troy and Deleted Scenes, those four have been so very helpful to me. I can't thank any of them enough. So please give him a check. And I am hearing that they're making more Orville. So he also likes to come out with inspirational stuff, which is awesome. That's probably what I should be doing instead of talking all this political crap. But please check him out, and maybe take a few notes if you're wanting to run a channel of your own. Lady Miss is bringing up controversial pardons that Trump did. Todd Bollinger, Abel Holtz, Representative Rick Renzi, Kenneth Gerson. Yeah, and again, not to pick on you, but they all do it. Every president, the opposition's always upset with the pardons that they make. It probably goes all the way back to President Jackson and not before then. Tim, he has the response, Lady Miss. I think it has to do with what they did. I believe, don't quote me on it, the people Trump pardoned were low-level felons. The people Biden pardoned were people like drug lords. I think he had another one as well, but I can't see it now. He said something about his frame of mind. But anyway, I shouldn't be getting in the middle of the debate between the two of you. Space Fraggle, kapla! Glory to you and your house. He agrees with Lady Miss. I could bring up a list of craziness Trump is pulling. He isn't even in office yet. And again, I voted for him. My bias is for him, but he has done some things that kind of make me go, what the hell, Trump? Come on. But then he's doing other things that I like. So, I got to be careful of being a flim-flam man here. Lady Miss goes on with the list. Casey Erlicher, Carl Andrews Boggs, James A. Davidson, James E. Johnson, which is just a wonderful name. That would make a great Bond villain name. I am Dr. James A. Johnson. I am going to corner the market on gold. Tomosu Budi, Bill K. Capri. Heck, Lady Miss, you should be doing a blog. Maybe I should just have you come on here. You can destroy all my pro-Trump propaganda. Everybody's saying hello to everybody. Lady Miss says there are 143 pardons by Trump, which is, I'm going to admit, again, I'm pro-Trump, but that sounds like a lot. And if you're already annoyed with the stuff he's doing, I'm sure there's a lot of people who pardon that one does not like. There it is. Yes, Tim, Lady Miss has to do with the frame of mind Biden is in, which, with respect, Lady Miss, I get that point. I actually agree with that. Having said that, I also understand what you're saying. It's freaking politics. I need to find a new dish. But then it's so entertaining to have people debate in a loving and friendly way. Like Tim has said, some people just shouldn't be pardoned. Lady Miss, no, it doesn't. You got Trump saying things right that if they come out of Biden's mouth, you'd be outraged. Because of Trump saying it, it's fine. They both are in an aging frame of mind. Again, I won't. Hopefully, I don't repeat this the whole show. But if you like Trump and not Biden, you'll say that the things that Biden says would be just ridiculed if Trump says it, and vice versa. If you like Biden but don't like Trump, you'll say that the media will just be all over Biden or whoever. I'm kind of getting mixed up who I'm talking about now. But I have a glorious house with a dog. Ha! Gorilla Essential Thoughts, welcome. I am pretty sure you're doing something later, so I'll try not to be terribly long because I want people to go to the people that have been so supportive of me. Gorilla Essential Thoughts. Also, please keep him and his son in prayer. I hope it's okay if I share this, but I know that your son is ill. I won't go any further than that because it's your story and I don't know how much of it you want shared. But I would love to suggest that people in the community send some prayers and positive thoughts to Gorilla Censored Thoughts. Another wonderful supportive channel. He does so much for people in the community that are hurting. And he has just a fun channel. The discussions, all too often my chronic fatigue keeps me from going on, but I love sometimes you just kind of chill and listen to you guys having fun. Kapla to Martin Malnikov. Hail, glory to you and your house. This gentleman, man, I got to tell you, he was the weapons specialist on a play. I did not even know this until just the other day. Basically, they did a Klingon Christmas Carol. It was really good. I did not expect to like it as much as I liked it. So well done. Tim, back to the debate. Lady Miss, like I said, I have a lot of issues with Trump in general. Let's hear what Curtis has to say. You two are wonderful. Lady Miss, hello. I may scare off your chat. I will be lurking. I just can't stand two-faced things. I understand it. I do understand it. That actually was one of my main themes at the beginning. And then I got sidetracked because of things, but I don't like two-facedness either. I don't like, we're going to apply this standard to this candidate, but not this one. Space Fraggle, the Panama Canal, Greenland, Canada, Mexico. Trump wants to annex North America for the USA. Seems unstable to me. Or is it whom? Oh, I think it's who. I think it is who. I could be wrong. It's been a bit since I took Dalton Grammar. Everybody saying hello and kapla. Space Fraggle will mind his manners too. You all usually do. You always do. If I sometimes I get touchy and say stuff, but I'm not saying don't take me seriously, because I do want to be taken seriously. But y'all are pretty respectful, so God bless you all. All right, Orville Nation is loving the banner. Lady Mid, hello. Everybody saying hello. Panama Canal. Oh, Tim. Again, here's my right wing old me coming out a little bit. At least my heart agrees. I don't know if my head does or not, because I need to think about it. But Panama Canal, we shouldn't have given it up. I think we should have kept it, but leave it open to everyone. That's what my dad always thought. He was just a farmer, so I don't know. I get Carter was trying to be a nice guy, and I don't want to poo-poo him too bad for that. But the hardcore right-winger I used to be always felt that we should have kept it. I haven't really put much thought into it since I've had my change of heart. Art Malikoff, I'll say it again. About politicians, elections, my dad always says, the best bullshitter wins. Agreed. Curtis Selby calls it out as I see it. If Trump did something dumb, I call it out. I know. We're just all saying what's at the top of our hearts. Orville Nation, my advice, be more consistent than Peach. Well, okay. I will take that to heart. Hello, Relation. Nice to finally meet you. Yes, please, if you get some time and what have you, please check out Orville Nation. He's a great channel, as is Gorilla Censor Thoughts. Only two I had the issue was the Chinese trafficker, and I'm assuming you're talking about Biden's part of this. The Chinese trafficker that had 47,000 pictures of kids, and Hunter. Hunter, only because they said for months he wouldn't pardon him, and constantly, no one is above the law. And Gorilla, someone may outdo you, but for this point in the chat, I'm going to give you the award for best comment, because that most closely, at least, identifies with what I think. I have zero issues with any of the pardons that I've heard about from Biden, except those two. I'm with you on that. I do not, unless there's just something that we don't know that like, I don't know, like maybe if he was some kind of insider, some kind of double agent, but then we should have been taking care of him anyway. If that's the case. That's the only thing I can imagine as an excuse for pardoning the Chinese trafficker. And Hunter, I tend to agree. My heart goes out to Biden. I'm a father too. I would probably do what he did. Having said that, I hope, you never really know, but I hope if I was president, I just wouldn't make that promise, because I would already know I wouldn't keep it. If he had not made the promise, I would have zero, I have a lot of issues with what Hunter did, but I would have zero craps to give about Biden pardoning him if he hadn't just made such a big deal. For the most part, I wouldn't care otherwise. Lady Mist, I don't like Trump. I think Biden has been too soft. Not fond of any politician. This new one coming in seems not to care for the everyday person. Only how can they make money off the people? Space Fraggle loves all people and enjoy a good debate with friends. Yes, but remember, we don't like the Federation. Haha. Gorilla Sensor thought your son is fine, just science infection, got meds now, we'll be fine. Space Fraggle is praying, as I hope all of us that are believers are, and all of us that are not are at least sending positive vibes. Lady Mist, if I've said anything wrong, I'm sorry. I don't think either of you said anything wrong. You just said what you believe. Like I said, I don't necessarily agree 100% with anyone except right now with Gorilla, as far as that one topic. But no, neither of you said anything wrong. You're just saying what you believe, and that's okay. Think if one of Trim's kids were in the same spot that Hunter was in, he would not pardon him. I agree. I know he would. He pardoned his daughter's father-in-law, and now he's making an ambassador. I guess that's okay. And, you know, I'll be honest with you. I don't know enough about what his son-in-law did. But, you know, unless it, you know, if it was like child trafficking or something like that, then hell to the no. I'm not okay with him pardoning. But otherwise, I get it. It's family. And again, I'm okay with Hunter being pardoned. I'm not okay with the constant promises and then we don't keep it. So Gorillas, I just love when people take the joke seriously. No, yeah, and that's another thing, and I hope that this comes out respectfully to those who disagree, but you have to. Trump says crazy shit. He just does. That's the deal. If you hate him, you'll always hate that. If you love him, you have to come to accept a lot of the things that he says. He's playing the comedian. Maybe he's wrong to do that, but that's what he's doing. We paid for the Panama Canal. We did. I don't know why we would take Greenland. Yeah, I've listened to him talk about it, but I don't. He hasn't made a compelling enough argument to me to think that we should take it. Now, if they want to sell it to us, and if we have the money, I don't mind if we buy it. But I sure hope, you know, and I know he's not, but I sure don't want troops going in and taking it from somebody. The Canada one was a funny joke. I agree. The other one with Mexico is kind of a half of a joke. All right. Them here already. Why not just take the rest? I'm the same way about Biden. Love discussing with you. No, I never get mad. It's how we learn to find a good way to get things done so we live better lives. Lady Miss, that's why people like when, if I talk about politics when I'm at work. So Gorilla Sensor thought the only one who said anything wrong would be me. We need more discussion from all sides like Curtis has here. I love that. Thank you. God bless you guys. Gorilla Sensor thought the best chatting we have had for Greenland was after World War II when Denmark needed the money. Right on. I guess I think I easily may be misinterpreting Trump, but I think he's just got that viewpoint of, you know, America hasn't added any states or territory in a long time. And some people probably don't like that. I don't care. I'm not saying I wouldn't love for America to grow, but I don't want us to grow in sleazy and dishonest ways. Lady Miss, feed the politicians to your snakes instead of me. Right. Yes. I'm not sure what FKHC. Oh, Tim, why want it? Yeah, I don't really know. There may be a good reason, but I just don't know what it is. Tim, you can talk all you want on your thoughts on politics. I will always give you a listen. God bless you both. Okay. I got caught up in the chat. You should be so proud. I'm going to stop the lovely rock music. Oh, wow. It's been a great week. It's worn me out. Not that I did much, I just ate so much. I feel like I'm now the whale on RFK's hood. Ah. Well, that was the show. Good night. No, okay, sorry. You're not here is another chat. Right on. So 2024, I mean, we've had a lot of interesting years, and I'm sure every year in my life, every year we feel like things are different. Every year we think that this year's events are more significant than they've ever been. But what it is, I suggest, is a principle from chaos theory called semi-periodicity. What I mean by that is nothing ever exactly repeats again, but something similar is constantly happening again in semi-cyclical ways. And Sashi, the man from the future, hail and well met. I hope that the end of this year is treating you well, and I hope next year is just spiffy and fantastic for you. What I would really love is for some of us in the community to come up with some kind of brilliant $1 million idea. Talking to you, Orville, because I think you're the one that's most likely to have it. But then there's a lot of other bright people in here too, so maybe I should not try to single anyone out. Come up with a brilliant business plan, and we hire Sashi and bring him over. We can have him manage the retail store for us. Mark Malikoff, there are 5 lights. How many do you see? There are 4 lights. Love that. Lady Miss, that explains why I couldn't find one. Dragons, not snakes. Right? Sashi, you're late. Got to pay Curtis a late fee. Yes! I've got to get that set up in my Patreon or something somewhere, because I would like to actually make a living at this at some point. But I know that that's sometime down the road. As slowly as I learn, it may be quite some time down the road. Same crap, different year. Right on. Klingons don't know the difference between snakes and dragons. Well, all those earth critters look the same. Watch out for snakes. Wonderful, wonderful. Deleted scenes. Did I delete you or star you? I hope I starred you. There we salute. Salute, kapla to Sashi and kapla. Bethel? Yeah, I have no idea. I should learn Klingon. That would be awesome. All right, let's get the party started. And like Deleted Scene says, I don't say it enough myself, but please like, share, and if you're not, subscribe. Haha, Gorilla Sense thought. Let's set up a time to talk in the backstage. I can help with a few things. Yeah, I should know this, but let me know if you're streaming tonight. If you are, please leave the link in the chat if you have it set up by now. Y'all usually do better than me. I always do everything so last minute, and I know that alone would probably help if I'd start setting things up beforehand. It's just that I never know. I just never know what life is about to throw at me. Lady Mist, we don't feed politicians to the dragons. You'll get charged with cruelty to dragons. I do need emojis. I would love emojis. I need to start thinking about that. Gorilla Censored will message me on X. Yes, sir. And I forgot I was going to reach out to you about music. And instead, this weekend, all I thought about was Christmassy stuff and blah. Kapla. Merry belated Christmas, Curtis and chat. Hey, Jeff B. Merry belated Christmas to you and bah humbug to all. Thanks, Mark Melnikoff. Thanks for pointing that out. Yes, please do not be cruel to the dragons. I watched Damsel on Christmas Day with my sister and brother-in-law, or maybe it was Christmas Eve. Anyway, I thought it was pretty good, although it did still have a lot of that messaging of men are bad. And then whatever, I can deal with it as long as if the rest of the story is good and I can't find other flaws. I'm kind of beaten down to the point where, okay, if you've just got to say that men are bad, I'm not saying you're saying this, Lady Mist. I'm saying that Damsel had that message, but it was still pretty good. It was still really, really good. Anyway, the long and the short of it is people are mean to a dragon, and that's actually not very smart. Just saying. Sashi always knows what life is going to throw at me. It's always a ton of crap. Yeah, indeed. Life actually is a gorilla. It's big enough to beat the crap out of you, but has much more fun throwing its feces at you. Okay, that wasn't very positive. Sorry, I probably just ran off DJ. All righty then. Let us begin. Hey, what the heck is that? You know, I love it when I'm trying to look at the stuff that I'm about to present to you guys, and there's something on there that I don't remember having up there. Yardstream's doing something different. I love that. I really don't. I'm kind of not great with that kind of stuff. Blah, 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 blah. I thought I would just start out, as bland though this may be. For whatever reason, something has happened in my settings, and so everything goes to Yahoo instead of Google. I'd probably fight harder to change it, except that I kind of think that Google's been taken over by Satan. So, anyway, there it is. Everybody saying hello and belated Christmases. Tim, if we have people in Congress who were there when I was a kid, we need term limits. I really don't like the idea of term limits after reading the Federalist Papers. But having said that, something's broken in the system because we're not voting the bad people out. Martin Malnikov, gorillas enjoy it until someone like Mark starts throwing back. Hate. Hope the Dragons had a great holiday. Hey, the lovely Sherry. Welcome, welcome. I don't know enough about you, but you often share the things that I do in Twitter. So I think that's lovely. And I've been trying to return the favor a little better than I have before. I'm an old man. I'm still learning this whole social media thing. So you click on the thumbs up button if you like it. We need them. Yes. Gorilla resents that. I don't throw my feces. I fling it. There's a difference. Google is Satan. Confirmed. Indeed. And nope, I think Satan gave way to Google. He took one look and decided he was out. Yeah, I think I saw something like that on Babylon Bee. And I don't know if I said hello to you already or not. Good evening, John Ponterero. I know you have had a wonderful Christmas. Mine's been pretty good for one of my Christmases anyway. Nobody died. Nobody went to prison. Nobody got fired. It's been a pretty good year for me. Stabby Sherry is here. I did not know she was known as Stabby Sherry. Yes, the lovely Sherry. Somehow somebody must have suckered her into coming on here. I wonder if DJ had something to do with that. Yes, Jeff B. Many yummy visitors came to the void to to see the dragons. Right on. So anyway, looking at Yahoo, they have 15 fascinating trends. I won't go into them because, frankly, I don't care. But, there's lots of pretty women here, so that's nice. And Yahoo visitors came to play. It looks like they must have played a lot of solitaire. Okay, I don't really care about that either. But the AP has a year in review we might take a good look at. I kept this up, though, because it just gives some of the basics. Top people searches were Sydney Sweeney, who's hot. That's about all I really know about her. Ben Affleck, you know, he's Batman. Blake Lively, don't know a damn thing about her. Please let me know in the chat if you do. Yeah, but she's pretty. Bruce Willis, my heart goes out to him. I liked him. I loved him as an actor, and I don't wish something going on with one's mind on even my worst enemy. So it definitely hurts that he's hurting. Even Satan said this is evil, even by my standards. Yeah, I think he was quoted as saying, I know I'm evil and I'm trying to bring about the destruction of everything good and holy, but this is just wrong. It is great to see deleted scenes. I agree. Gorilla Sensor thought the Heat team went out on Christmas Eve here. Oh, so until I hear differently, I'm assuming someone forgot to get his wife a present for Christmas. Oops. I never forgot. Of course, my ex-wife wouldn't let me forget. So I don't know if I can take credit for it or not. Year in review, it mostly sucked. Well, not for me. For me, it was pretty good. But yeah, I mean, for Bruce Willis, I think this was a really rough year. Valerie Bertinelli, I don't know if anyone knows, but she took a selfie in her underwear. I promise I've only looked at it once, which sadly is true, and it makes me wonder if there's something wrong with me, because it was actually pretty nice. But yeah, she it was a big deal. Some people were mad at her for it, and I don't understand the flip flop that's happened. It's like the people who used to would have been like, "You go, girl, you show your fine self." Now they're the people that are mad at her, and the conservatives who used to would have said, "It's a woman in her underwear," are the ones saying, "Hey, yeah, cool, you have body positivity." It's a weird world. And then Clint Eastwood. So I don't know what he's doing. I'm not sure why. I mean, I know he's older than Moses, but yet he's still kicking and frankly, probably better shape than I am. I need to work out. Yeah, we got musicians, athletes in memoriam. I think I will look into the in memoriam here in a bit. These were the top entertainment searches: Inside Out 2, Deadpool and Wolverine, Oppenheimer, which was one of the few films that I actually bought this year, Poor Things, Anyone But You, and Despicable Me 4. I try to be more like Gru every day. She does look good, and yes, deleted scenes. It's. I don't mean to be doing the devil's work here, but she's still worth looking at. I'd catch her and even brag a little bit if I caught her. So anyway, that's a joke for another time. There's women here. I don't want to be too bad and get all of them to like block me and all that stuff. A bunch of people's years in review. I really don't much care about them, but I'm going to go and look at the in memoriam, because we did lose a lot of good people and my memory is crap. So I'm almost certain that I will forget who we've lost, who we haven't. Show more. Okay. So we lost Toby Keith. Weird thing is, I didn't used to like him, but he grew on me. He just he came out with some songs later in his career that I really did like. We lost Shannon Doherty. That hurts me too. I know she was kind of a hellion, but she was so beautiful, and it's like part of my youth is going away. 2024 can't be done soon enough. Oh, that's how I felt about most years until this one, really. Older than Moses. Methuselah says, "Hold my beer." Right on. Valerie looks really good for 6. I think she looks good for 54. Maybe even, I mean, no offense. she looks better than a lot of women I know who are in their 40s. Or, well, you know, and it's like, yeah, men, we hold together so well. Rest in peace, Cardinal Sin. Yes, thank you. I was going to bring that up, but I'm actually glad that you brought it up because you knew them better and you have a better memory. And I would have forgotten at least one of these guys. And I don't want to forget anyone, and I'm sure I have. In fact, there is one. Who was it? What was his name? Crap. Tron. Tron. We lost Tron. We lost Cardinal Sin, Clobby from Clobberin' Times, pop culture curator, and of course, Bird of Prey 5. Yeah, and I'm probably missing one too, but Tron's the only other one that I can think of. Um, we lost so many wonderful creators, and I hate it because nearly all of them uh, I heard about because they passed. Yeah, legendary Tron. Thank you, thank you. Oh, and here's another one, another red shirt, a YouTuber friend. Another one that I suspect we may have lost. I know that this is maybe not exactly the same community, but Roger Anthony Afay, and I say we may have lost, not him. Don't stress. But there was a guy who had been on there, coming on there for quite a while on his panels, who's just vanished. The last I heard, and no, I haven't heard anyone say what if they've learned what happened to him. That this guy is named Dobby. He was a British fellow who had cancer, and with respect and love, because the guy had such wonderful comments to make, but he kind of looked like a balding hobbit with long hair. Yeah, Tron, Kaplaw Gorilla, nice tribute. Yeah, yeah. Liam Payne, I didn't really know him well, but I from what I hear, he passed away way too soon. I mean, everybody passes away too soon. Well, except for tyrants and serial killers, everybody passes away too soon. But Richard Simmons, another part of my youth, very positive fellow, uh, big preacher of the exercise and healthy eating community. I feel like he passed too soon. As healthy as he tried to live, and I know he was not healthy all of his life, but it hurts me that he didn't live longer. But he probably lived a lot longer and on a lot better quality of life than he would have if he had not started working out. So God bless him. I don't know who Mandisa is. She looks like a lovely woman. So, rest in peace, Carl Weathers. Again, another person from my youth. He was acting until nearly the very end. So, rest in peace. James Earl Jones. I think this is the one that hurts the most. So many iconic roles. The voice of Vader. We only have two of the original main characters left. And Mark Hamill's brain is dead. So, I mean, okay, I know that was tasteless. Lady Miss, rest in peace to all of our friends that have moved to live with the stars. Or people like Woody Allen. Oh, my. I used to like him. And now I can't hardly think of him without ick. Ugh, ick. Simmons was out there. Hey, hail DJ Ronnie G. Yet another wonderful channel that y'all should check out. It's got some very informative stuff. Thank you for being on here. And yeah, Simmons was a little different. I'm not saying I wanted to be like him. I wish I had his workout ethic. I wish I had his discipline. And I wish I had that positivity. But yeah, I don't know that I want to be just like him. The lovely Sherry still has Cardinal Sin's last Twitter message to join in on his show. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to get rid of that. My brother-in-law, when he passed, there were a couple of times when, even though I knew he was gone, I'd call his number just to hear that voicemail. He was the finest man I ever knew. He passed away, I want to say about 8 or 10 years ago from cancer. He was 59. Toby Keith. Yeah, Keith is not a very distant second, maybe ties with Weathers for me, but James Earl Jones. And of course, Phil Donahue and O.J. Simpson. I really wasn't a big fan of Phil Donahue, but still, I'm sorry, that he's gone. O.J. Simpson, I don't know what to say. I hate what happened. Uh, I don't know if he did it or not. I suspect he did, but I don't know. But I hate that his wife passed. I hate the way that she passed. And I don't know. Part of me almost hopes that he's innocent because I don't know. But I suspect he did do it. But I don't know. But now he's passed away, and whatever God's judgment on him is, whether he does go to a reward in heaven or something else, I can't bring myself to wish him in hell. Maybe that's wrong because maybe I should be thinking about that passed away wife. But John Ponderero also has a tweet from Cardinal Sin. Great guy. So those were the people we lost in 2024. I think I'm going to go ahead and move to the next thing. All right. Oh, very good. Very good. Sorry, I'm just reading your tweet now, John. I shouldn't leave people in mysteriousness, but all right, let me get this ready because I probably will share at least a few pointless things that I found on Twitter. Most of it's not partisan, though. Most of it's like Christmassy related. Man, I've been on Twitter a lot. Well, anyway, it is what it is. Let us now go to Google's search. Yes. Oh, gosh. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, Louis Gossett Jr. and help an old man out, the guy who was Candyman. Oh, crap. What was his name? I loved him, even though I can't remember his name now because I'm a jerk. Yeah, he's definitely missed. On that note, Lady Mist, Space Fraggle loves your idea about the afterlife. I feel the same way. Tony Todd, thank you guys. Thank you, Stephen and Gorillas. Thank you so much. I should have been doing this when I was in my 20s. But anyway, looking up Google's trends for 2024, the number one trending search of the year was the election. Number one trending person was Donald Trump. That's why I decided to do a thumbnail of Donald Trump and Kamala. I desperately tried to get the AI to make an American Gothic out of the two of them. That was the closest I could get it to go. I guess the number one trending actor is Cat Williams. I feel like a moron because I don't know who that is. So let me know in the chat who that is and what he did. The number one trending movie, this surprises me. I figured it would be Deadpool Wolverine, but according to Google, it was Inside Out 2, which I guess makes sense. More kids looking at that. Number one trending TV show is Griselda. the number one trending athlete, Mike Tyson. So the more things change, the more they stay the same. The number one trending sports team was the New York Yankees. Number one trending musician, again, more things change, was Usher. And the trending song, which I for some reason can't get is Not Like Us. I'm afraid I've only listened to maybe a handful of new songs this year. I hate to admit it, but probably my favorite song so far for the year has been They're Eating the Dogs. Meow, 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 meow. They're eating the cats. Meow, 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 meow. I don't know if that shows where my mind's at or if that just shows where talent's gone. Based comedian. Oh, got it. Close enough. Comedian called out Sean Combs. I'm so out of the loop. Then here I decide to blog about stuff. DJ Ronnie G, good evening. Merry belated Christmas and or happy holidays to Lady Mist of the Turtles, and I'm assuming those are dragons. I don't. I did watch the riff track of the holiday Star Wars holiday special. I love that they watched the commercials as well. They had one of those old Fruit of the Loom commercials. I think some of you will remember those. You know, and the fruits all popped up. What the heck? There's an apple and grapes and a thingamabob. And what the heck are you? Tobacco? That was so funny. Let's get it on. Oh, did he pass away? Crap. Of the people eating the pets of the people that live there. Cat Williams, because he was predicting that Diddy would be charged. And it looks like so. Yes, thank you for reminding me. How could I forget? I made such a big deal out of it, and then I don't bring it up. Rest in peace. Peanut, and was the raccoon named Walt or something? I could probably go back and find it, but Merry Christmas. Gorilla's been censored. Crap. Okay. YouTube. Those are bugs. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought, but I don't know. I think he meant to put dragons in there, but yeah. Rest in peace, Peanut and Fred. Thank you, Gorilla's censored thought. Oh, it's food that turtles enjoy. Got it. Fred was the raccoon. Yeah, man. Is it sad that may have had so much profound impact? But then, like I said before, I hate our government. I might be okay. I might have been okay with them getting the raccoon and the squirrel if they'd put half that much effort into finding the people on the Epstein list, but they haven't. So yeah, I'm kind of pissed. We know the election was the biggest thing. I went ahead and Googled that because I know I'm going to forget something. That we can honestly say, at least in my lifetime, that was the weirdest election, and they've been weird for quite a while, but they just seem to get weirder and weirder. Lady Miss, the chat may be bugged. Be careful, right? Fred gets no respect. Yeah, and he was a cute little thing, though. He sure was. And I love animals anyway. Mark Molikoff, Lady Miss phone is bugged. I think all of our phones are bugged. Let's take a quick look at the election. Yeah, 2020 was probably a weirder year. I don't know. It's hard for me to say whether this election was. I want to say that it was, because we've never had the situation of a president who's basically incapacitated. And I know this is probably, people are going to just think I'm being partisan here, but I still think that the right thing to do would have been to basically declare him incompetent back in 2022 or 3. And as much as I didn't like her, this is the constitutional thing to do, make Kamala the president. And then she could have run in the primary and been legitimately elected. And I think that would have helped her case some. I have no idea if that would have meant she won, and nor would I have really wanted her to, but I would have definitely had a less angsty tirade against her if that had been the case. Gorilla Censored Thought believes Biden was incapacitated in 2020. They were able to hide it better. Yeah, well, that's just it. I'm not 100% convinced even now that he was then, but I am 100% convinced that at the very latest, it was no later than the time of the Chinese balloon. And I'm convinced that that's why they dealt with the Chinese balloon that way, was because they didn't have any leadership. And that, I don't mean that to be a complete criticism of Biden. It's a criticism of the people who should have done their jobs and said, hey, look, I know you're the president, but you're not able to do this anymore. You've got to step down, and Kamala's got to take over. Darth Plato is not wrong. And welcome, by the way. Always confusing me with that beautiful picture of Batgirl. It happened with Woodrow Wilson. You're quite correct. He was incapacitated after a stroke. The First Lady, the family, and the doctor hid it. That is true. And because of I didn't find out about that until I was probably in my 40s. And number 2, frankly, by the time I found out, my situation in life was so crazy. But I have changed my views quite a bit on Woodrow Wilson. And yeah, that was totally, we didn't have that constitutional mandate back then, but still, that was wrong. Look up Edith Wilson. Right on. All right, so the election of 2024, I guess I will go, because, I don't really trust any of these blankety blanks anymore, but I guess I will go with Reuters. And, I won't completely follow along with it, but I'll use it as a guideline for my own random ramblings about it. Oh, what am I doing? Space Fraggle, JD Vance will try it with Trump. Just a prediction. Don't dogpile me. Interesting thought. I'm not going to dogpile you. I'm hoping that you're wrong, but you may be right. I may be crazy. The mandate was there, but it was worded differently. Right. Yeah. Gorilla Censored Thought nailed every state except Michigan. Cool. Darth Plato Edith wanted it hidden so that they wouldn't have to move out of the White House. I did not know that. Others went along with it because the vice president wasn't liked either. I've noticed there's this tendency to pick people for vice president that people don't really like. Here is stupid advertisement, and here is the election. 226 for Harris, Trump 312, 74 million for her, 77 million for him. Don't know that it was a landslide per se, but it's pretty categorical win. And there it is. I don't know. I guess it's not going to give me a timeline. I thought it would. Here's the states that won. Here's the solid Republican states. Pretty fair number of states. Damn it. I don't want to go to some of the others, but I do want a timeline because I want to talk about some of the issues. Okay. Election. Proposed plan to block Donald Trump from taking office sparks MAGA fury. Yeah, it's always the same. If you guys do it, we're upset. When we do it, though, we're brilliant. Results. I'll bet they all just give the results. I should have planned this better. Because what I only really want it for a timeline, because to me it was the biggest thing of the year, but what makes it special isn't the results, it's the way this year panned out. I really hate to use Google, but I guess I will use it at least for a background, for kind of an outline. We all remember the 2020 election. It was a pretty ugly thing, really, whichever end of the aisle you're standing on. And back then I was pretty centrist because I'd started out being pro-Trump, and I just kind of got wore down over 4 years of constant media saying so many things, and I couldn't believe it. All of those things were lies. I couldn't. And I still don't believe that they were all lies, but I learned that a profound number of things we were told were lies. Before the election happened, Biden, I think, had a slim lead, but we had COVID happen. And between COVID and some other things, right, wrong, and different, stolen, not stolen, Biden ended up the president. And so I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I didn't vote for him. I voted Libertarian, just to say I'd voted. To me, the first thing, I won't go into a bunch of detail. I've got lots of other videos you can watch about it. But the first indication to me that this wasn't going to go well was us leaving Afghanistan. But the media insisted that somehow this was Trump's fault. And I was willing to listen, but at the same time, my thought was, Biden, you're the one in charge. You should have delayed it, or you should have done something, but you shouldn't have allowed it to just go down like this. And as the years went on, things happened that eventually changed my mind. Part of it is I'm one of these people that if you try to cram something down my throat, eventually I'm going to regurgitate it at you just out of spite. But I've tried to be fairly logical about some of this. Not perfectly so, I'm sure. Space Fraggle, we Democrats got our tails handed to us. I can say it. Yeah. And I mean, it's, Republicans, it happens to us too. Partly because quite often Republicans will do some really stupid things. Are they still counting in California? I don't know. I barely care. To me, California has become persona non grata. I think of them now as a kind of a third world despot thing that isn't really a state anymore. Mark Melikov, the 5 Ps, pre-planning prevents poor performance. Something I say often. Right on, right on. All right, Sashi's headed to work. See you guys. Lady Miss, it's nice, sunny, warm. Jeff B, you can blame them to not want to party hardy all the time. Yeah, well, I have no problem with the partying. It's other things. It's not really the people of California I have the issue with. It's their government. Take it easy, Sashi. Have a good night. Be well. If I was smoking weed, I'd still be counting too. Right on. California is a far left experiment. I tend to agree with that. With respect to those who are leftish leaning, so basically, there was the claims of interference. The media at least decided that these were all false. The commission decided that they were all false. There was a big thing that happened in January 6th. Some people want to call it an insurrection. Personally, I think it was a lot of stupid people being stupid. And then the government just decided to use that for their own ends. They started to indict Trump for things. And at first, I took those things seriously, but then I'd do some research into them. And a lot of times, the things just wouldn't make sense. And they rarely seemed to stick, or if they did stick, they stuck in a way that just didn't click with me. It didn't sound like fair dealing. And I get if Trump does the same things, I hope I have the intellectual honesty to call it. But, I didn't like the guy. I actually learned to hate the guy. But to me, fair dealing is fair dealing. How you feel about him shouldn't matter. It should be the law. And eventually, I got to the point where I wasn't pro-Trump, but I was less adamantly anti-Trump. And then this is why I wish I had a good outline here in front of me. The assassination attempt happened, and I just, I was really terrified for the last couple of years that January 6th put the thought in my head, which I'd always had anyway, that there could possibly be a civil war. And I was scared to death by the fact that it happened, but also by the fact that good friends of mine were very humanitarian people, very good, kind people. Some of them I would have said were kinder and better than me, were laughing about it. They were laughing about, oh, they missed, ha ha ha. And this terrified me because I thought, if this is really where we're at, we're in a very bad place. I'm in a very bad place. I can't fix the world, but I can work on my own attitude and I can work on my own issues and things. And that's when I started to really deeply research the things that the media was saying. And I found that an uncomfortable number of things that we'd been told turned out to be lies. And then eventually, the people that I was going to vote for, whether I was right or wrong, to be wanting to vote for them, each and every one of them ended up supporting Trump. Vivek Ramaswamy, who I realize he's got his skeletons in his closet too, but I didn't know that at the time. He threw his support behind Trump. And then what really did it for me was RFK coming out and Donald Trump coming out and Weinstein and Tulsi Gabbard and just a slew of people that if the Democratic Party were not effed up, no offense to those of you who are, but they would have been coming out for Biden. And one or two of them, okay, one or two people can be an aberration, but when you have a mass exodus of people, and of course the left's saying the same thing. They're saying the same thing because there's a mass exodus of Republicans voting for Kamala. Having said that, the people that were part of the mass exodus are all people that I didn't like, that I felt were not representative of the way I thought or believed. And then, of course, there was a thing with Biden. More and more people were thinking and fearing that he had dementia. I will give him this. I thought he did a really good job with the State of the Union address, at least not so much with the address, because I disagreed with maybe half or 2/3 of the things that he said, but with the delivery. And I thought maybe I was wrong, but then it just kept getting worse, and he was terrible in the debate. And it was just obvious that something was wrong. Well, they hung on and hung on and hung on. They wouldn't allow anyone else to be in the. I mean, they had token people, but there were people that were basically deliberately underfunded, that the party had already eviscerated in the press. And so they'd only get 1 or 2 or 3% of the vote. Now, once Biden was already nominated, that's when they finally decide, oh, yeah, we're going to admit that something's wrong. We're not really going to tell the public what it is. This is all unique, because even the thing with Woodrow Wilson, you still can't, you can compare it, but it's not a direct comparison because he didn't run again. If memory serves, please correct me if I'm wrong, Darth Plato, but I don't think he served a full term with his illness. Please let me know, though, if I'm wrong, because I may be wrong about that. California is like Chaz, only bigger. The United Socialist Republic of Illinois. Chaz or Chops, however it's called. Wait, we are what? You do know we are the 5th highest economy in the world. We didn't get that way by sitting and just smoking dope. I know that. It's just with respect. And I didn't know you were from California, but I wish they all could be California girls. Now I'm always going to think of that song when I see you. Anyway, I'm not flirting with you. Take it back. So, yes, California did some amazing things at one time, but I think the last 20 years, really not so much. And again, that's not you. It's not the people. It's something squirrely happened with the government there in California. Gorilla Censored Thoughts. Can't find the video anymore. When Arizona took so long in 2020, someone took the count from Sesame Street. What? Some tune, the count from Sesame Street. He was like 1,000,003 votes, or 10 million. No, I can't count. Yep, 10,000,003 votes to 1 million. And then someone shouted, "Hurry the heck up with the count. I lost count. 1 vote. Ha ha ha. 2 votes." Yes. Yeah, we didn't go. And maybe I was silly to think that. I knew there was so much division and hate that it scared me. I love Tom McDonald's music, which will probably really annoy some people, but I haven't listened to his last one. I probably need to. I've heard it's interesting. It's a Christmassy thing. Something in the Pacific water. It's redder. 10 Miles Island. It's redder than 10 Miles Island. Darth Plato's social media outrage is not an indicator of where the country is going and why I don't pay any attention to it. Right on. Everyone here is crazy. Lady Miss, anytime someone at work asks where I'm going, I always say, "Crazy, you want to come with me?" I wish Trump would have released his medical records for the American people. Oh, I agree. It would have been good. Would have been cool. Both of them had. Darth Plato, the size of the economy is not an indicator whether that economy is any good or not. Well, to be fair, because Russia and China both have really large economies. But anyway, Lady Miss, everyone wanted to move here years ago. Yeah, Then we had a big shaker. They all ran away. Going to get bumpy. Right on. I know Oklahoma has had quite a few people come from California. Anyway, long and the short, it was a weird election. Yeah, there was an assassination attempt. There was a lunar eclipse. And what's her head? I'm wanting to call her Daisy Lou. I'm really losing my mind. Anyway, the big new person, woman singer thing was a big deal because the Republicans were mad because she was getting people to vote, but evidently a fair number of them voted for Trump. Just putting that out there. Mark Molikov, that was a good one. North Plate of the USSR was the second largest economy at one point. Yeah, look what happened to them. Yeah, there were at least two attempts that the third one I still question, but I depend. Kurt Selby must release his medical records. Yeah, I think it should happen. You want to be our president? Let's know how healthy you are. It's not like you're trying to be a burger flipper or work at McDonald's. Oh, wait, no, he did. I know that was tactless, but what can I say? The next thing I wanted to look at, going to be the last major thing, and then I'm going to just talk about my channel and then talk about pointless things that I found on Twitter. This is the World Population Review. The reason I decided to download or to look at it, I think the biggest thing to me, possibly other than the election, has been all the wars that are going on. But I hate to admit how ignorant I am, but two, I don't want to just be like everyone else. All that's going on is Russia, Ukraine, and Israel, Palestine. There really are a lot of other things going on, and it's all relevant because there are people dying. And whether you like Trump or not, he's 100% right about one thing, if nothing else. We want people to stop dying. We want these wars to come to an end. Now, obviously, we don't want a quote-unquote dishonorable peace. We don't want raw appeasement. But we do want these wars to end. I was so fascinated by war as a kid. I still am, but for different reasons. Back then, I thought they were cool, and they make action movies out of them, and you can become a hero. And now I realize that it's just a bunch of butchery and killing, and it's fun to talk like a Klingon, but in reality, I'd love for war to just stop. I don't know that it will, and I'm sure it won't. But I look a little pale now. Well, when you eat money, you do get pale. They're eating the fries. La, 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 la. Taylor Swift, thank you, right. And she does. She has a right to get people to vote. So, yeah, 100%. That's one of the things that Trump did that irritated me is he put out a tweet saying he hated her. And I'm like, dude, I get you don't want her to be against you. I get it. But she does. She has the right to support whichever side she wants to. So obviously, yes, there's the Ukraine-Russia conflict. We've talked a lot about it on this channel. I wrote a pretty fair amount on my blog. I won't rehash much of it here. We all know. Basically, Putin was saying that Nazis were running Ukraine, and turns out there were Nazis in Ukraine, but I wouldn't say they were running things. They just, you get a population that's big enough, you're probably going to have some neo-Nazis running around. I'm not against Ukraine. What I am against is it seems like every time Zelensky has sat down at the table with the Russians, we've said, nope, You have to keep fighting. And I think that's BS. I think that's BS. Russia and Ukraine are at war. When did this happen? Well, not long after the Archduke Francis Ferdinand was assassinated, about which I'm afraid there could be war. Do you tell people of Ukraine that they're going to be Russian now? Would you feel the same way they wanted some of the U.S.? Just asking. Number one, with respect, Putin was wrong to invade, but he is right in that a strong number of Ukrainians are ethnically Russian. This was his honest thinking, which turned out to be wrong. What I think happened was he was scared they would go NATO because Kamala Harris ran her mouth and said that we were going to have them join NATO. He had a bunch of yes men in his intelligence corps, and he asked them, hey, do the Russian people of Ukraine want to be Russian, or do they want to be Ukraine? And his yes men, not really thinking about it because they were making a ton of money. Oh yeah, they want to be Russian. If you send troops in, they'll welcome you with open arms. I honestly think he believed that. He invades, and lo and behold, they fought. So, and don't forget, Lady Miss, there was the Cold War, which I grew up in. I actually know a whole hell of a lot about the fear and even sometimes the hatred of Russia. But that's just it. I think that they're playing on our fears. Gotta go. Be safe, warm, and well. Jeff B. Yes, please. If so, what state would you surrender to the Russians? You know, these are all hypotheticals. I would love to be one of these people who says, you know, you never surrender. But I know I've lived a life where I have been beaten. I have been hungry. I've been on the edge of being homeless. Where I'm going with all that is, I know that a fight can get too big and you can get to a point where you will surrender. So if you want an honest answer to that, I would have to know, I mean, how many troops have they invaded with? How much land have they taken? How long have we gone without food? How much food do we have left? I would love to be a Klingon and say you never surrender. I'll be honest. I don't know if I would have been one of these people who was cheering Churchill on or saying, oh, damn, you might as well just surrender, bro. After the fact, we know he was right. In the middle of the shitstorm, you don't really know. Gorilla Censored Thoughts, 50 guesses. What state would I surrender? Again, it just depends. Don't forget, there's other things too. I mean, do we surrender our Constitution if we get into a war? How many people are we willing to keep? You know, as opposed to that, the Japanese, they would not unconditionally surrender. They didn't. They never would. Their only and sole condition to surrendering was they got to keep their emperor. That's why Hirohito wasn't executed after the war, when Hitler would have been if he had been caught, and Mussolini was, because that was the condition. We'll surrender. We get to keep him, though. Putin has delusions of grandeur. I grew up during that time. Everyone thought a bunker under the grounds would save them. Right. Anyway, it's been a big freaking horrible thing. And I don't know that I know the answer, but I do know that, look, let's be realistic. Ukraine, yes, they're valiant people, but unless we actually do come in with troops on the ground, I do not believe they can win. Not a win as in, you know, we boot the Russians out and devastate the Russians to such an extent that they can't ever come back or can't come back for a long time. Ukraine can't do that alone. Frankly, I don't think Europe could do that. It would take us. And I don't want that. I hope I don't sound like a coward, but I do not want a fucking world war. At least not over this. I know everybody makes the comparison to Germany and Hitler. I'm not going to say it's a totally invalid comparison, but it is different in that there does have to be some kind of a line. And Hitler crossed it when he invaded Poland. I don't know where the line is with Putin, but I do feel like it needs to be west of Ukraine. Come to the void. Dragons love Gorilla Censored Thoughts. Nuclear wars have been on over. Kiss your butt goodbye. It's a world loses event. Exactly. And that's why I want us to be willing to at least negotiate. I don't like that Putin's done it, but we did some stupid things too. Space Fraggle, it's easy for me to say I'm old. Same here. You know, Ukraine has been fought over time and again throughout history. Mark's ancestors came from there over a century ago. There are many underlying problems. History is repeating itself yet again. Yeah, again, I wrote about it on my blog, and you probably know more things than what's written there. Hitler didn't just invade Poland. And the Soviet Union did invade Poland as well. Let's not forget that. After he signed a non-aggression pact with Stalin. Yeah. So I'm not saying that the analogy is perfectly bad, but it's also not perfectly good. Let's zoom on down because I don't want to get into a detail. That's not really the topic, but it's something that I think needs to be brought up. Obviously, lots of political fallout, lots of Americans and people divided over it. I'm absolutely okay with supporting them. I'm just not okay with saying they can't negotiate. I'm also not okay with us signing bombs. I don't think that's cool at all. Just putting that out there. They don't give a lot of details about the other wars. I was thinking they did. Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. I won't go deeply into these, but Nigeria has a terrorist insurgency war. Somalia, Burkina, Mexico has the drug war. Syria has had their civil war. Mali, Congo, terrorist insurgencies. Ethiopia and Yemen have civil wars. Pakistan is having a border conflict with Afghanistan. Haiti has a civil/drug war, as does Colombia. The next big one in the media is Israel, but I've actually been going down the line as far as casualties. You can read them, but I guess I'll at least share. Nigeria's had 8,000. How many has Ukraine had? I'm scared to know. As of 2022, the estimate was somewhere between 15,000 and 20,000. The 2022 casualties. Looks like there were more definitive numbers later came in 2022. 13,528 military, 5,718 confirmed civilians. So it is terrible, and I do say Putin is the aggressor. He's the bad guy. But we've done some pretty silly things too that frankly, we're not very helpful to Ukraine. We threw a lot of money at them. We've gotten them a bunch of weapons, but I wonder if we've really been helpful in ending the war. Nigeria 8,000, Somalia and Burkina both have 7,000. Mexico has 6,000. That's terrible. Our neighbor. Syria has 5,000. Mali nearly 4,000, as the Congo. Ethiopia 3,500. Yemen over 3,000. Pakistan over 2,000. Haiti nearly 2,000. Colombia 1,800. Israel 1,400. They're the ones that are getting all the news, but all these other places have more death. Iraq has a terrorist insurgency. It's just basically a big cluster foul up there, but they actually lost less than Israel, if you can believe that, 1,200. South Sudan, ethnic violence, that's terrible, over 1,200. India, I have no idea. Then it doesn't say what's going on there, but 1,100. And Afghanistan has lost 1,000 people in 2023. So I'm assuming it's still going on. I don't know. So those are the countries at war. Here it gives another and more detailed list, begging the question of why it wasn't up above. But this list puts the casualties of Ukraine at nearly 50,000. Palestine at over 22,000. Myanmar, I guess they weren't going to talk about the civil war going on there up above. Looks like estimated 13,000 in 2024 alone. Sorry. So Ukraine lost 50,000 in 2024. So it's just getting worse. Palestine, 22,000. Sudan, 9,000. Burkina, 6,000. Those were listed up above. Russia, I mean, they're having losses, but here's the deal. Let me go back to the chat and see what you guys are. 2024, what a hurt locker. In war, there are no civilians. Civilians drive the economy to fund the war. They grow the food the soldiers eat. They produce the oil for the planes and the tanks. They build the bullets. Yeah, I've been reading a lot in the last year about the Civil War. And that's basically where the North finally got to the point of winning, where they realized not so much they were going to kill civilians, but they were going to devastate the economy. And once they did that, the South just lost its capacity to fight. Lady Miss, if there's a world war, it's not going to be over there somewhere. It's going to be in our towns, backyards, and homes. And no fight in some field far away. Yeah, I think it will definitely be different than even World War II, which was horrible even for us, but it wasn't here. Who's producing the numbers cause these countries to have a motive to fudge numbers to either get sympathy for high numbers or lower numbers to make them look better. Yeah, I wonder about that with Russia, because it surprises me that their number is only 2,775, which is the worst year that they've had. But then it's also the worst year that Ukraine has. And here's where I'm going. If you've listened to this blog very long, you've probably heard me talk about how a lot of Oklahoma towns never recovered from World War II. You'd have towns of 300 that would lose 100 men, and they've never gotten back to having 300 people. Towns of 700 that lost 200 men. Ukraine, I love that they have valor, but they don't have the population anyway. But even if they did, if it's true that Russia is losing 2,500 to Ukraine's 50,000, there's no win there. There is just no win there. You know, China versus Russia could maybe make that happen. They've got billions of people. But there's no winning for Ukraine with this. I'm not saying that they should just give up everything or that they shouldn't try really hard to negotiate the best deal they possibly can. But I'm at the point in the reading about the Civil War where the Confederacy's lost nearly half of their states. Sherman's about to begin his march. The South is starting to draft men, and then it's gotten to where they're drafting, you know, they're increasing the age. They're drafting 17-year-olds to 60-year-olds. It's not sustainable. You know, you can't, barring some kind of incredible miracle, and I know that happened, but you can't win. Mark Molnikoff, people don't fight wars, governments fight wars. The people do as they're told, as told to me by a former German soldier who was conscripted at 18 years old, whom I met years ago. Thank you. Thank you, Lady Miss. Thank you. Again, I'm actually on Ukraine's side. Russia's the aggressor. You know, Putin did wrong. But yeah, maybe we're hurting Russia, but we're killing Ukraine. And yeah, we are killing them just as much as Russia, because we keep saying, hey, you negotiate, your funding is gone. So, and we're signing bullets. We're killing the Ukrainians just as much as the Russians are, in my book. I know that's harsh. I won't go through all of these, but there's wars and all over the place. Central Africa, Mozambique, Chad. They're small numbers, but still. Bangladesh, Libya, Benin. I'm surprised there aren't more deaths in Libya. There's only 111. Uganda, Togo, Ecuador, Israel. Israel had a lot better year this year than 2023. Ghana, Algeria, Morocco, Tanzania, Ivory Coast, Mauritania, Tunisia. They lost 2. Good that was all they lost, but still. So war is still alive and kicking. And I wish I knew how to, even if we can't stop it, if we could even just contain it a little better. They sort of do as they're told. Spent 4 years driving my COs insane. Well done, Lady Mist. Well done. All right. I want to spend just a tiny little bit of time talking about my channel, because it was a really good year for me. I know that there's a lot of people who did better, a lot of more talented people, but I can't remember, but it seems like I had less than 10,000 views at the beginning of the year. I've been doing this since 2020. I started the channel. I just never produced anything until a little bit over maybe 2 years ago, maybe. But I now have 43,000. Thank you guys very much. There's so many loving and supportive people. I promise I'm trying my best, but at the same time, I know that you guys probably deserve better. Looking at my dashboard, my last one, Cassie's Christmas presents. Has had a 411 views. That's awesome. Thank you guys very much. No, not that. I'm where I want to be on monetization, except for watch hours. I had the ambitious goal of making it by the end of the year, but I'm not going to make it. But I had well over 2,000 views needed, probably something like 2,500 views needed at the beginning of the year. And now all I need is 793. So we're less than 800 views from being monetized. Let me take a look. Roger Anthony Athay likes to always share what somebody's most viewed stuff is. So my first oldest video was of Cassie, a little bit over a year ago. 30 views. Huzzah. That was me introducing myself and Cassie to the internet. The first short I did, well, let's see what the most popular video is. Wow, things have kind of shifted. My most popular video, like edited video, is my reaction to the trailer of Napoleon. It has 295 videos, and you can see my ugly self when I was about 30 pounds heavier. So there. Shorts. Cassie. My most viewed short was about the King's family victory, finally getting closure. Has 2,300 views. Starving soldiers fighting to get their pay in the revolution. It has 2,200 views. Me doing a reaction to a song has 1,600. My claim to fame, though, has been my live streams, which I didn't expect that would be. But my most viewed thing on YouTube and my second most viewed thing on anything social media is Capitalism versus Socialism, 7,600 views. Thank you guys very much. And my oldest live stream, I did some before I met the people in the community, but they were quite lame, not really very great. I think I got into the community about somewhere in here. I think this might have been the first one I made after I got, or this one was the first one I made after I got into the community. I learned about StreamYard and I thought, hey, maybe I could do this. And these earlier ones are very clumsy and painful, but people seem to like them at some point, and I just kept going because I'm a big dodo head. I can't seem to stop. And I enjoy it. I love you guys. So, all right. Gorilla Censored Thought. Come on, people. You need to sub to Curtis. He's seriously undersubbed. He told me if he gets to 1,000 subs, he would do a face reveal. No, you're making crap up because I've already done a face reveal. I just don't like the way I look on camera. And to be honest, I don't know if you notice. Here, let me go back. I don't know if you notice, but these that show my face, you got 22 views. This was right after a car wreck, by the way. I have the sunglasses on because I had black eyes that were just quite bad. This was after I'd been healing for a couple of days, so I didn't have the horrible bruises all over my face anymore, but my eyes were just scary. But yeah, 9 views, 18 views, 11 views. I stopped showing my face, and yeah, it doesn't grow much, but it grows slowly. And then eventually I get to the point where I have 7,600 views on one of my videos. Mostly it probably averages 30, 40, maybe 50 when it's all said and done. but the ones where I show my face are just not that popular. And I get it. You know, if I had some beautiful honey to interview. Any volunteers? Anyway, after all that scary talk, everyone have a good night. Sleep well. Okay, good night. Wait, I'm not leaving. As a Klingon would say, Lady Miss, sleep well, but sleep light. Right on. All right, let's do pointless things that Curtis has seen on Twitter. Hopefully. Oh, good. I don't have any embarrassing stuff up. All right. But I need to go back further down because hopefully I don't have anything embarrassing. I probably do. I thought I had this ready for you guys. I promise. I did a little bit of prep before I did this. Evidently not enough. I spent a lot of time on Twitter over the holiday. Wow, I've been on Twitter too much. Way too much. I'm going to just start arbitrarily here. Maria with T and Telly, her sweet doggy nephew Dexter, kind of reminds me of Cassie a little bit. Loves taking pictures with Santa. This, I don't want to call out a fellow YouTuber, but someone was talking about Elon Musk having too much influence. I humbly disagree. Yes, I just wear my sunglasses at night. Right on. Thank you. And I was about 50 pounds lighter back then. I actually had a decent girlfriend when I took that picture, but we didn't work out. We couldn't figure out how to blend our families together. Well. Anyway, I humbly disagree. And I also disagree that stopping the first bill, I think, was actually a good thing. If you can believe this Eric Dougherty, and why not? I do, just because I'm a big dumbhead nom. I don't know enough about him, but according to him, the bill on the left was what they were trying to pass. The bill on the right is what got passed. So I'm a big fan of smaller bills. I think it's ridiculous that we are making bills literally nobody has time to read. I think it's a big part of the problem that we're having. We're passing bills. We don't even know what's in them. Well, maybe if we get back to 100, 200, 300-page bills, I mean, if the mountains of regulation we have aren't working, I don't believe that more regulations are going to solve the problem. So, I'll bet it goes all the way back. Hey, it did. In fact, it took me here. That's cool, though. LDG, free the net. Luigi Mangione is only an extreme fix that won't change anything but public opinion. If we free the net, that'll be the ultimate fix that will change all CEOs without killing them. Please support LDG Free the Net. Go to his website. He's making an app that I firmly believe if he can just get it made, will make a huge change in our lives. Okay, I'm just going to start back here. Penny shared this one.
I'm running and I'm feeling like I gotta get away, but I know that I don't and I won't ever stop.
Let me know if you can see it. I don't know if it matters if you can hear it. I love dogs. This was shared by Elon Musk, but even though he wasn't perfect,
you and I were boys back in the Midwest.
Reagan is still my favorite politician from my lifetime, or president anyway. I hope you have the patience. I want to at least share maybe 2 or 3 minutes of what he told Johnny Carson back in, I want to say it was 1975.
Right.
Governments, federal, state, and local, were only taking about 15 cents out of every dollar earned. Today, they're taking almost half of every dollar earned in the United States. And most people don't realize it because the taxes are hidden in the so-called business taxes. You know, the politician that stands up and yells, oh, let's save the little man, let's tax business, and everybody yells, hooray. They haven't figured out that every tax on business is just a part of the cost of production. And the customer winds up paying it when he buys the product. It's a hidden sales tax. There's 116 of them in the suit of clothes that each one of us is wearing.
Suppose a lot of economists have suggested, and I don't know that it'll ever come to be in this country, that if they closed all of the loopholes and corporations and maybe tax loopholes and even on the rich certain loopholes and made a percentage income and made a flat fee without all of the deductions, that the government might raise as much money as they do now.
Oh, sure. And really, the loopholes, this has been overdone by the politicians too.
All right. Basically, he was always a fan of lowering taxes. And with respect to those on the left, it's been demonstrated. I mean, yes, you can get too crazy. You can cut taxes too much, but it was demonstrated by Kennedy, Reagan, Clinton. If you intelligently lower taxes, you end up raising more revenue because the people are now spending that money instead of paying it to you. And then that money is something that can be taxed, but it's taxed lower, and on and on and on and on. Again, I think there is a point of diminishing returns. And I do think that all too often tax breaks go to the rich, and I think they should be going mainly, not exclusively, but mainly to the poor and the middle class. But I still am a believer in, one, I'm no believer at all in punitive taxes. And two, all other things being equal, the lower tax is the better tax.
We've gotten in the habit over the last 40 years of thinking the government has the answers. There's very little that government can do as efficiently and as economically as the people can do themselves. And if government would shut the doors and sneak away for about 3 weeks, we'd never miss them. Our biggest problem is that we have built a permanent structure of government, federal, state, and local, the permanent employees, and they've come to the place that they actually determine policy in this country more than does the Congress of the United States. Mm-hmm. There are 14.5 million public employees in the United States. That's quite a voting bloc. And the bureaus and agencies, not in Washington, I heard you talking earlier about some of the research programs. Mm-hmm. What would you say if I told you about a study in which this was called the demography of happiness? And in this study, the government found out that young people are happier than old people. And they found out that people that earn more are happier than people that earn less. And they found out that well people are happier than sick people.
That's good. Well,
this was $249,000 to find out it's better to be rich, young, and healthy than old, poor, and sick.
Reagan. All right. Good evening, Dad Man Walking. Welcome. I've been praying for you guys. I hope that you are feeling better. Anyway, that was Reagan. I won't make you listen to the whole thing, but I still think that his principles, they may not be perfect. I don't agree with absolutely everything he ever said, but I do think that he had the best ones of any president in my lifetime. I've talked about this before, but I had a friend who really felt that NPR was centrist and even-handed. And I did some research and found that, frankly, they're not. They may have been 10 or 15 years ago, but they're not now. Mrs. Dadman Walking is bad off. Oh, no. So let's keep praying for Mrs. Dadman Walking. And anyone who hasn't, please check out Dadman Walking's channel. They're fun, wonderful, positive people. They won't they won't bury you in pointless politics and tell you how Reagan's the stuff. But please check them out if you have not. This is the new-ish current CEO of NPR. I played this during the blog post that where I decided that NPR wasn't so centrist after all and wasn't as reliable as they used to be. But I thought it bore sharing again since I was seeing it being put out there again.
Most significant differences, critical for moving from polarization to productivity, is that the Wikipedians who write these articles aren't actually focused on finding the truth. They're working for something that's a little bit more attainable, which is the best of what we can know right now. And after 7 years there, I actually believe that they're onto something. That for our most tricky disagreements, seeking the truth and seeking to convince others of the truth isn't necessarily the best place to start. In fact, I think our reverence for the truth might have become a bit of a distraction that is preventing us from finding consensus and getting important things done. Now, none of that's to say that the truth isn't important. The truth obviously exists. It's at the core.
Now, you got to remember, this is NPR. This was supposed to be America's journalism. This was supposed to be completely unpartisan, completely just about sharing the truth and sharing the voice of the American people. And yes, Merry Christmas to everyone and to all, a bah humbug. Oh, sorry. But you're the CEO of what's supposed to be the journalistic movement in America that has the most integrity. And you're saying that seeking the truth isn't the best place to start. Reverence for the truth might have become a distraction. See what else she has to say.
Or the search for the truth is at the core of some of our greatest human achievements. It can animate and inspire us to do, learn, and create great things. But I think in our messy human hearts, we also know that the truth is something of a fickle mistress, and that the beauty of the truth is actually often in the struggle.
I'm not going to say the thought that's in my head right now about fickle mistresses.
It's the reason that we have so many sublime chronicles of the human experience, because there are so many different truths to be explored. And so in this spirit, I know that the truth exists for each of you in this room. It also probably exists for the person sitting next to you. But the thing is, the two of you don't necessarily have the same truths. And this is because for many of us, truth is what we make when we merge facts about the world with our beliefs about the world.
My question, why is it then that your organization has suppressed the thoughts of 50-ish% of the people? I mean, if you're saying that truth is relative, I'm kind of okay with that if you're presenting both sides. But if you're not, you're tacitly saying that there is an objective truth and our truth is it. But you just said that that's not the case. Anyway. This was shared by Tony Forrest. Don't know anything about Tony Forrest. He may be a terrible person, but I thought this was interesting. So we have AOC. It's more important to be morally right than factually correct. I think that's what a lot of people. I probably said it at some point or another. Thomas Sowell, who's quickly becoming one of my heroes, it is usually futile to try to talk facts and analysis to people who are enjoying a sense of moral superiority in their ignorance. Elon Musk, I did not donate to Wikipedia this year. This isn't the entire reason why, but this is a part of it. Stop donating to Wikipedia until they restore balance to their editing authority. Wikipedia's annual budget report reveals they spent over $50 million on DEI. And look, I'm not saying I'm 100% against DEI, but for it to be the third biggest thing in their multi well over $100 million budget, that's kind of freaked me out. I mean, it's more than safety and inclusion. It's more, well, it's not more than, but it's third behind effectiveness. That's really not cool to me. Jay Bhattacharya, who is part of my journey to where I'm at politically, one of the people who convinced me that the government did do, in fact, a crappy and terrible and criminal job of dealing with COVID. He shared this for Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone. May we all have good news to celebrate in the coming year. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. AOC, yeah, she's one of my favorites too. But she is hot. I will give her that. If she just was sane. But anyway, the truth is relative. I think she's a great aunt, right? And again, there's an extent to which it's true. There's an extent to which it's not. I know you have to be careful about harping about the absolute truth. I do believe there is an absolute truth. I just don't think that any of us has the patent on it. And Mark, I agree with you. As hot as she is, Space Fraggle, you are welcome to her. Yeah, I probably better keep my comment to myself. I like that there are women that like being here, so sometimes I try to keep my sexism to myself. Most of my sexism is like thinking that they're all hot. But anyway, neither here nor there. This gentleman, the view is much better this side of the most lethal and illegal kick ever invented. Cobra Kai never dies. I thought that was cool. I think he's better at it than, anyway, is what it is. And Danny Trejo, this is how I saved Christmas.
So that's when I slapped that dirty green pendejo for ruining Christmas. And then I made everyone tacos. The end.
I just thought that was wonderful.
So that's when I slapped.
Lisa from YouTube. Yeah, check out her channel. She has some interesting stuff. She's still waiting for a Supergirl skin at Fortnite game. Until then, this works. I think it's actually supposed to be Mariah Carey, but I can imagine that being Supergirl. How long is this one? I won't play this one, but yeah, I'll just skip that one. The Critical Drinker. Merry Christmas, everyone. Whether you like him or not, that's a beautiful tree and that's a beautiful dog. So, get well soon. Yes, please. Prayers going up for you. AOC is not my type. Same here. I mean, she's pretty. If she were intelligent, and she wouldn't even have to be right wing, just sane, I could be into her. But anyway. Gorilla Censor Thoughts, call me misogynist, but AOC reminds me of the ugly librarian in a crappy 70s prone video that transitions to the hot woman when they take off their glasses and take their hair out of the bun. You know? Yeah. I don't know why. Because I keep thinking, I know I've seen her somewhere before. And now not that I ever watched prone. Yeah. And I never watched prone about librarians. I'm going to have to clear my history now. Okay, so deleted is laughing. Mark seconds that. And Connie Cleary, AOC is no one's type. I will guarantee you, without meaning to be sexist, every woman that's in the chat right now is much more beautiful to me than AOC. Not that that matters, but I'm just putting that out there. Have you seen The Wreath of Khan? I know I've seen it before, but it never gets old. The Wreath of Khan. The Young Turks guy. Everyone is looking for my so-called pivot. It's not in the policy. It's not in the labels. It's not in the strategy. But I found it. There is something different. I don't hate the other side anymore. And that might be the biggest difference of all and the biggest sin for some. Dr. Evil, right. The Death Ray lasers. Never watch Prone. You just listen to the music. I shut off. You know how some people turn off the sound when they watch it? I actually turn off the video and listen to the music. Jeff B, I appreciate a woman that knows how to use a garbage disposal. Hell to the yes. Her comeliness goes up at least 2 points when I see that she can use a garbage disposal. Elon Musk, happy holiday. It's Merry Christmas. And I'm no longer where I used to be about that. I don't care if someone says happy holidays. I just don't want to be forced to not say Merry Christmas. This is pretty much where I'm at. Snortopupus Q Burr, who is my favorite polar bear. Americans willing to cross a frozen river to delete you in your sleep on Christmas. Totally not kidding. We've done it. I think most of you know, but that's really is what Washington crossing the Delaware was about. Sneaking across the river to delete redcoats in their sleep. I did enjoy that story. Amen, Curtis. I try not to hate at all. Hate poisons the soul. It does. And I try not to hate, but sadly I've failed. I've failed badly, especially in the last few years. It's you know, I got to where I had a lot of hate for a lot of people, and I'm trying to wrestle with that. I'm trying to repent, whatever you want to call it, because I honestly do believe Martin Luther King had it right. Hate, on one hand, it is true that when you say that violence never solves anything, go ask the Carthaginians about that. There's some truth to that. Having said that, hate it's not undone by more hate. It's undone by love. So, yeah. More Young Turks. I'm liking this guy more and more the more I read his tweets. Merry Christmas to everyone. This might be controversial in some circles these days. My wish is for a united country where we unite to take back power from the donors and bring back real democracy, where left and right win together against the elites. It begins with hope. J.K. Rowling, married 23 years today. I think this was 2 or 3 days ago. So just a little bit before Christmas. That impresses the heck out of me. Anyone that can stay married that long. I know she's got a lot of money. That probably helps. But still, anyone that can stay married over 15 years just impresses the crap out of me. And I'm one of them. I stayed married 16 years. Klingons do not repent or relent or confess or abstain. Yeah, right. I will drink blood wine with you. I already shared this one. John Rich, it's nice to see the drones over New Jersey took a break to celebrate Christmas. But then again, the government doesn't work on holidays. Rob Schneider shared this one. Local carpenter continues to spread disinformation deemed harmful by religious experts. Scott Adams, there may be a pattern. I'm not going to comment on this, but I can't help but share it. On the left, Twitter before Musk. On the right, Twitter after Musk. The people who took away your free speech, the people who gave it back. Again, not going to leave a comment, just couldn't help but share it. Oh, Mark Molnikoff, well done. Married 27 years, a life sentence. Well, you probably started the right way by slapping her and trying to give her a knife fight for the mating ritual. I, unfortunately, tried to do it the human way, so my bad. Life's not fair. Get over it. Bill Gates. I have no idea what this other part means. I really don't care, but looking at that picture and just thinking, Bill Gates, the same friends of mine who are up in arms about Elon Musk, were always defending Bill Gates to me when I would say something critical about him. You know, and these are the same people who believe that Trump said that the veterans were losers, and that turned out to be a lie. Yeah, I'll get over it once this guy has a home. Young Turks again, I have to admit, I underestimated the tribalism on our side. I thought once people realized that I'm defending left-wing positions in front of right-wing crowds, they would understand that that's not selling out. That's the opposite. But no, most seem to think just the mere act of talking to the other side is an unbearable heresy. We should never talk because that's appeasement. Winning the popular vote doesn't give them legitimacy, but one left-winger talking to them does. The fact that people can't see how crazy that sounds shows you how thick the bubbles are. I'm good with it. I'm always going to choose the most rational way to get to the policies we want, whether people get furious about it or not. No, I don't think the right wing is going to magically give us everything we want. I also don't think yelling at them at the top of our lungs is going to accomplish that either. I know because I've tried that too. I'm positive we can't get money out of politics unless both sides agree to work together. I'm positive that's the only way to get back our democracy. And I'm positive that unifying on things we agree on is the most rational strategy. So I'm good with the attacks and the accusations because that's the only way out of this endless civil war. The only way to get to a better solution is by going through this minefield first, because we have to somehow start the conversation. And that alone triggers people to no end. At some point, we have to dare to venture out of our own bubbles and see if we've been tricked into fighting each other instead of the people in power. Penny shared this dog. He's so cute. I love that dog. This is a long one, but I'm going to share it. This is Lex Friedman, who's one of the top or maybe second tier bloggers. Deleted scenes, I'm sentenced to live alone, I suppose. I get the feeling because I was single for a long, long time. It's tough, but I am going to say, without meaning condescension, because it always sounded when people would say this to me, they always sounded condescending, and I promise I don't mean that in that way. But it really is better to be by yourself than it is to be married to someone who's just sucking the life out of you. I do get lonely sometimes. I do date, but I get tired of coming home to a house with nobody. But then I remind myself that at least there isn't someone that's going to just light into me the second I walk in the door because of all kinds of stuff. Cute puppy. Yes, I agree. Okay, Lex Friedman. He is in Kiev. This was on Christmas Day, posted this to interview President Zelensky, trying to do my small part in pushing for peace. This photo down here is of me visiting Baba Yar yesterday, not to be confused with Baba Yaga. He killed someone with a freaking pencil. A place where many in my family were slaughtered by Nazi forces. Yeah, I said it, YouTube. In 1941. They were ordered to gather with valuables with the promise that they'd be resettled, and then forced to lay down in this ravine on top of other people's bodies and shot. Over 30,000 people were slaughtered in this way in just 2 days. So think about that. In 2 days, roughly 60% as many people were slaughtered by the Germans as the Russians have in a year. Again, that is not to say that the Russians are the good guys, but it's not the degree of terribleness. It's bad enough, don't get me wrong, but it's not the degree of terribleness they were dealing with back then. Let me add another note, because sadly I'm attacked a lot online by all sides, but in this case by my own Ukrainian people. I'm told by many Ukrainian friends that live there that the attacks are voices propped up by Ukrainian bot farms. I disagree, and I think it's not a good way to operate intellectually, thinking that anyone attacking me is a bot and anyone supporting me is a smart, thoughtful human being. Maybe it's true sometimes, but it's better to assume it's not. I prefer to assume it's a lot of passionate people who care about Ukraine, sometimes get caught up in the witch-burning hysteria of the crowd. The far left and far right in the United States did this a lot over the past few years. Anyway, in the previous post, he already corrected a bunch of lies spread about him. I explained my family roots in Ukraine. Now let me add some more context to the pile. I visited Ukraine in the summer of 2022, traveling to Bucha, Borodyanka, Kiev, Kryvyi Rih, and several places on the front in Kherson Oblast. This trip was personal. Most of it was not recorded and was not meant to be recorded. I had two goals for the trip: to interview President Zelensky, for me to personally understand and feel the reality of this war. For the first part, President Zelensky eventually agreed. That's why I'm back in Kiev. For the second part, I spoke with hundreds of people off mic, not recorded, including soldiers, civilians, politicians, artists, religious leaders, journalists, economists, historians, and technologists. I recorded only a tiny number of them, with no intent to publish them as standalone episodes, but instead thinking to consider including them in a documentary. But the project quickly fell apart, started to not make sense. As I was speaking with people, the conversations I enjoyed having most and that I felt would powerfully show the beauty and pain of Ukrainian people would be with hundreds of soldiers and civilians. The interviews I did record were simply just not good conversations. That's my fault. I take full responsibility for that. I quickly knew that I would need to change my approach. Almost all the people I spoke with on and off mic have reached out with support and total understanding. Many have become good friends. Still, I'm deeply sorry for the many ways that I failed in this effort, but I promise I'm working really hard to get better. I really do try with all my heart to speak to people from all sides with empathy, depth, and compassion. I'm sure the attacks will continue, but at least now you have some more context. Sorry for the long post and any mistakes. I'm writing it looking over Kiev as the sun rises. Happy holidays. I love you all. Lady Miss enjoys living by herself. Learned a long time ago to enjoy my own company. Oh, yeah. And if I don't enjoy mine, I enjoy Cassie's. I don't miss being slapped for something I did in her dream. I've been there. Yep, I've been there. I hate the alone time. It drives Mrs. crazy. Yeah. And that is we all need different amounts of alone time. And that's one of the struggles of a marriage. I'm sure even with a normal woman, I would have had, either she would have needed more or less alone time, and we would have had to figure out some kind of compromise. I think I'm yes, I'm on the last few things. I don't know who this is, but Tim Pool, I'm going to buy more guns today. Cornsey, I'm an Australian and would just like to ask, why do you need guns? Anthony Pachito answers, so we don't get locked in camps for having a virus with a 99.9% survival rate. Most of us Japanese in Japan are not Christian, yet we say Merry Christmas to each other every year. So, Merry Christmas. This in response to a Washington Post article. Please don't wish me Merry Christmas. It's impolite and alienating to assume I follow your religion. I think the gentleman is a little self-centered. I don't think people are assuming you follow their religion. They're just trying to be polite. David Blass, I don't know if any of you remember this, but I saw Nosferatu. It was not what I expected. This is Buck Rogers. Mark Molnikoff, I wouldn't trade my wife for all the Targs on Cronus. I get plenty of time to do what I want. That's wonderful. I know there are some good women out there, and I'm no longer. Anyway, it would be nice to come home to somebody who is wonderful, but it's better to come home alone than to come home to someone who's horrible. Poole kind of got dumb. I hear that. I don't know enough about him, but yeah. He has every right to own arms. Right on. Agreed. Hello, everybody. Australia turned back into a penal colony. I kind of get that impression. Great movie. I haven't seen the new one, but I do remember this episode of Buck Rogers. The guy there is I don't know how you put it. He's like a space vampire. And it was cheesy, but I loved it because I was maybe 10 or 12 at the time. I don't know. I think I'm just going to share what Rob Schneider says. The Hill has an article. Congress has the power to block Trump from taking office, but lawmakers must act now. I've heard this before. It's probably not fair to not read it, but I just like Rob Schneider's response. Try it and see what happens. And then this one, I wish I had more of the context, but I didn't know how to bookmark it and keep it all together. So I just bookmarked this response. There was a discussion online about the difference between illegal aliens and so on. Lady Mist is pure evil. Stay clear. Marry me. Disregard all that. Ow. No, I don't want to delete this comment. I put a link in your chat of a good stream Tim did with MTG while. Yeah, and I have that bookmarked. I'm going to listen to that sometime. Is Rob Schneider advocating for an insurrection? I saw lock him, put him up for 20 years. I agree. He's a bad person. He wants an insurrection. So ask yourself if some Indian, like, from India, fresh off the boat, getting 3 to 4 months of training, is able to fool an American that they're actually a seasoned 78-year professional. Why can't we just train Americans to do that? Why import anyone? That's where the indentured servitude model of tying the visa to the employer is highly important. Americans can take the training and leave and take their talents to another company because Americans have rights and will not tolerate being mistreated, although we've tolerated a lot of mistreatment in the last few years. I've frankly tolerated more than I ever thought I would. Imported workers on an H-1B do not have such rights or a path for recourse. If the H-1B worker doesn't comply or keep their mouth shut, they're sent back. This is why Americans aren't being trained or selected for these jobs, because they can go to another company at any time for any reason. The H-1Bs can't by design. Merit has nothing to do with anything. And the Americans who are in charge of gatekeeping the system can't actually suss out merit or fraud. Even worse, they might be scared of denying applications due to quote unquote racism. I just thought I would share that thought. I don't exactly know what I think of it. I bookmarked that on Christmas Eve, but or at least it was posted Christmas Eve. I think I bookmarked that sometime earlier today. But anyway, I thought it was something to think about. All these illegal aliens, we wonder why they're being allowed in. We talk about it changing the voting structure, but I think there's something to it like this as well. You know, the powers that be hate that we have any rights. Let's bring in a bunch of people who, quote unquote, don't have any. I can't help but look this up. Logan's Run is trending. I don't know why, but Logan's Run is trending. Huh. Well, cool. Logan's Run is trending. So that is pointless and somewhat partisan things that Curtis has found on Twitter. And I think I'm going to call it a stream. It's not that I don't love talking to you guys, but that's 2024 in a nutshell. Confusing elections, confusing wars, good people passing away, but there's also a lot of good things. I probably didn't focus enough on the positive stuff. This is why you have Mrs. Dadman and Sci-Fi Mombi. You get all the positivity from them. Let's play the soft pro music that I never watch with beautiful stuff, women, things. Hail Tim, thank you for showing up and for the kind comment. Hail and well met Connie Cleary, thank you for your faithful wrenching and for all that you do for the community. As well, Lady Miss, thank you for doing so much for the community. We may not see eye to eye on things, but you are a person of honor. I'm honored that you come by and watch my stuff. Thank you so much. Warville Nation, God bless you. PJ, I always get it mixed up if it's PJ or DJ, because the chronic fatigue's real. Wonderful person. He's knows his stuff when it comes to Orville, but also to success, to YouTubing. Really someone that you want to check him out. Space Fraggle Kapla. Glory to you and your house. And yeah, though I voted for him and support him, and though there's also a lot of lies about him, there's also some legitimate craziness that Trump does. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Gorilla Censored Thoughts, you are probably streaming by now. If y'all want to go and see his stream, please feel free. I need to DM him. Or something. I'm getting old. Who else? There's at least a couple more people here. I love all the interaction. It's so fantastic. John Ponterero, thank you very much for your brotherly love, your support, your links, your prayers. We need to get together and talk about the poetry of Jim Morrison someday. I keep forgetting. Get so wrapped up in the day-to-day. It sucks. How do the big YouTubers do it? They do it very carefully, Mr. Selby. Doobie 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 doo. Sashi, the man from the future. One of these days, he's going to give us the winning lottery numbers. Deleted scenes, honored. So thankful that you're here. Check him out if you haven't already. I think he's the one person that I would like to promote that I didn't even promote in this stream. What is up with me? He has an incredible channel. What you want to do is you want to watch him and you want to watch Warville Nation. You want to take notes. And Gorilla's thoughts, too. There's several people here you want to take notes from. I probably left out 2 or 3 at least. Kapla, Mark Molnikoff, glory to you and your house. Our house. It's the honor of the street. Our house. Jeff B, Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. Ho, ho, ho. Who wouldn't go? Gorilla Censored Thoughts doesn't throw his feces, he flings them. The lovely Sherry, thank you for coming by. Very kind of you. I hope you enjoyed it a little bit. Maybe we're a little entertained, maybe learned something. Even Satan said this is evil, even by my standards. I know I'm the embodiment of evil, but this is just wrong. All the people that we lost. Let me find that tweet. I want to honor them one last time if I'm smart enough to find it. Probably not. There it is. Rest in peace, Cardinal Sin, Clobby from Clobberin' Times, pop culture curator, Bird of Prey, legendary Tron, and another red shirt. Rest in peace. Lovely Sherry still has Cardinal Sin's last Twitter message. And John Ponterero, Still has one from Cardinal Sin as well. We lost Tony Todd. We lost Peanut. We lost Fred. Turtles and Joy Bugs. See, you learn all kinds of stuff on this channel. You can't get this stuff from anywhere else. Darth Plato, thank you very much for showing up and for your kind and informed thoughts. You know so much about history, and it's wonderful. Thank you for coming by. I need to check out Tom McDonald's last song. I might do that and then go to somebody's stream and then listen to Tim Pool or something before I go to bed. Oh, I bet I misunderstood Darth Plato. Darth Plato probably wants me to release my medical records. I did misread it. Sorry, that was a great joke, and I totally fumbled the ball on that. I always look a little pale. Taylor Swift. Russia and Ukraine are at war. Seems like there was at least one more person. Who am I missing? Yes, Dad Man Walking. Evening to you. Thank you for showing up and for the comment. We are praying both for Mrs. Dadman and for Gorilla's son. They are both sick. Maybe pray for deleted scenes. We need to find him a good woman. DJ Ronnie G, thank you for showing up and for the kind comments. And please go to his channel. He's got some really cool stuff there. All righty, I think I am about caught up. Good night. The lead scenes, I'm going to steal your ending, although I have my own, but I'm going to read it since you're here. Good night. Take care. Stay strong. Be safe. This is how we win. Gorilla Censored has no stream tonight. Got way too much to do. Deleted Scene is reminding you, don't forget to hit the like button. Do you know how many times I forget to like my own stuff? Got 12 likes. Looks like I've got 8 people watching. I think I had about 12 people watching, so it's pretty good. Good score. Stay salty. Think for yourselves, y'all. Good night. Take care, all. Getting some very good headlines and stories for future streams for my game. Nice job. Thank you, Dad, man. You're very kind. Deleted. I fake my streams. Did I say that out loud? Yeah, I think you do good with your streams. I don't know. I really do try to prep mine a little bit, but I do know I need to do better on all kinds of stuff. This is not to say I hate Tim Pool. I understand. I do. I have heard that from other people, though. I just haven't listened enough to him to be able to give an informed and intelligent. It's kind of like The Acolyte. I've heard so many people say they didn't like it, and since I haven't seen it, it's really not fair for me to dive into the argument. I know at least one good, intelligent person who really loves it. I don't know about a good woman. I'm sure we can find him one for $20 an hour. You know, I'm just not going to say it. I'm saving myself for Winona or a reasonable facsimile. You know, I need to check my text. I'm trying to set up a date for tomorrow. Well, for the weekend. It feels like Friday, but it's Thursday. I just didn't like when he flip-flopped on a particular issue. I understand. I've probably done too much flip-flopping myself. There are 5 likes. How many do you see? See, 12 likes. Oh, 13. I guess I need to refresh it. Refresh. 13. Woo! God bless you all. Well, now I'll give my spiel. It's a little long, but if you got the patience. It's been said that life is pain, and anyone trying to tell you otherwise is trying to sell you something. It is true. I am trying to sell you something. I'm trying to sell you on the idea that liberty is better than slavery, that freedom is better than tyranny, and that you are, in fact, smart enough, good enough, wise enough to run your own life. You don't need big governments or big corporations to tell you how to live, how to think, what to say. Lastly of all, I would like you to know you're not going mad. I am. No, you're not going mad. You're going sane in a world gone mad. God bless y'all. I will see you soon on another stream.